right, Will Robertson, of course, Acting Up and Acting Up Radio. Welcome to the show today. Very excited. If you go to the website, you can see it at the bottom of the lower thirds here. Check it out. And, of course, this is brought to you by KidsCasting, kidscasting.com. Go there, get a profile, get some auditions, go out there, get her done, and become famous and rich, and come back and put me in your movies. But today, I'm very excited. I wish I had actual wings, but I don't. But in the distance, you will see that we have a guest, and I'm very excited. Every week, I try to bring you someone new in the industry, and specifically in this case, in the kids industry. Because as we know, there are lots of places you can go, but there are also a lot of places you can go that'll take you to the right, to the left, and you're in circles, and you'll go, oh gosh, what am I doing? So we try to make sure you get the right education, the right information, and then that way you get to the learning curve quicker, and you won't start off when you're 6 and end up being famous when you're 96. So with that being said, of course, one cool thing on the site you can check out, it's awesome, on kidscasting.com at the very bottom, it's called Parent Academy, which allows you to click and see a lot of the videos that I'll do on how to self-tape, which means set up a studio and do your own stuff. How to shoot photos if you don't have the money to be able to shoot photos. I mean, I know I didn't when I was a kid, south side of Chicago. My parents couldn't throw around money for photographers. Nowadays, we're lucky because we have these wonderful things called phones. And you can shoot in portrait mode, 4K, and all that other fun stuff. So there is no excuse to getting good photos. Go on there, check out those articles. Check out stuff I maybe want to do voiceovers, like animation, all that great stuff. But today, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to tell you that we have a really cool guest. I'm putting my glasses on because there are some things I want you to know. And in the wings, we're going to bring her out of the wings. It's Shadawn Houston. She is Indi Kids Magazine. Very excited. If you want to go to Indi Kids Magazine, look at the bottom right here. You will see that information. Check it out. On Instagram, it's Indi Kids Magazine. You can check them out there and all kinds of other stuff. But without further ado, Shadawn, how are you? Wait, you're from New York, so it's Shadawn? Is that right? Shadawn. I'm from
Yes.
Chicago, so we say Shadawn. So how are you, young lady?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Will.
I'm very excited because, I've been trying to connect with you for quite some time. And I will
Yes.
tell you that what you're doing is phenomenal. It's great. But more importantly, I want to tell people about the wonderful experience we had getting us hooked up online today and all of the amazing stuff, because technical stuff can be fun, but it can also, boy oh boy, take a lot of time. So I highly recommend that everybody out there,
Yes.
you learn as much as you can. We're going to keep you updated. With that being said, one of the big things I want to talk about with what you have is, what is the magazine? First of all, I know it's amazing and it's beautiful, but what is it and why'd you start it?
Well, Indie Kids is a industry magazine. So Indie Kids stands for industry kids. I just customized it and made sure it was our own. Separated it from the world, from other indie and industry and all that, and made it Indie Kids. So Indie Kids is a place that I call a platform for our young rising stars. A lot of magazines and publications, of course, you have to either be Will Smith's kids or the Olsen twins or their kids to
Yeah.
even be seen
Yeah.
out there. So basically, Indie Kids has given kids from all over the world a home and a place to where they can actually showcase their talents and let everybody know who the industry kids are of tomorrow.
Right. Well, one of the things that's difficult, and I know you know this because you've been doing this long enough, and I know because I've been doing it too long, and that is that what you just said is that I would love to believe it's as simple as finding an agent and being able to wait by your phone or whatever, or your email, and then have them, call you up and go, you got it. It's amazing. Don't worry about working. It's okay. But that may be true for people who like Will Smith's kids or whoever,
Absolutely.
the Olsen twins, because
Yeah.
it is who you know, but it's also nowadays, and this is the beauty of our technology in 2019 and going forward, is that you have control and you have places like you are, which help brand a person. And is that not probably one of the biggest jobs we have for our kids if they want to be in the industry, or ourselves? Isn't that one of the biggest jobs, is getting the awareness up?
Absolutely. I tell the parents from all over the world, they tell me, oh, my kid has done runway and they've done this and I've done that. But I said, well, nobody knows them. No one knows them unless, except for the people that are around them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you can tell me that they've done runway and they've done this and they've done that. But the way to go is publications.
Right.
Publications, getting printed, getting featured. Of course, no one wants to be the first one to do it, but that's why Indie Kids is here.
Right.
And we put them out there for what I like to call the majors to be able to see them.
Right. And the thing is that you can do your own, back in the day, you could do your own I'm looking around here for any of my postcards. You could do postcards and you can do a lot of different things, but doing it yourself and not having any connection is a little bit like having an Instagram account with 4 people. That's really great, but there's only 4 people that are going to see it. The cool thing about what you do is, how long have you been doing Indie Kids?
I've been doing Indie Kids for 8 years now.
8 years. That's 8 years of going through the system, going through the learning curve, getting it out there, making connections, and then when they get on there, you flip the switch and they get their awareness in place. I mean, we know nowadays that, I talk about this all the time. People say to me, they go, well, Will, do you think I should start an Instagram page for my kid? Yeah, but you want to monitor it, and you want to make sure that they're not just putting pictures of them that are them dirty with food on them and facing this way and bad lighting and 12 kids in the picture. So people look at it and go, that's cool. Which one of the 12 is yours? That's where you and we come in handy, is that we know what they're looking for.
Sure.
You have a platform that is specifically tailored towards when those people do open it up, they're going to see what you want them to see, which is really saves you a lot of time and money, really.
Sure. Absolutely. And we're not expensive at all. I've had parents say, I just paid $3,000 for this, and I just paid $3,000 for that, and then I'm like, wow. Yeah. And I'm like, so how did that go?
Yeah.
That's my
how'd that go
question.
For you? Yeah, how'd that go?
I don't want to get involved.
Yeah, how'd that go for you, by the way?
You're still here. You go on to KidsCasting, and you see my work, and that's the first thing that I have to add is to actually see who we are, not just a flyer or anything like that. And they say, oh yes, we love you on KidsCasting and things like that. And then I say, okay, well, all right, what is your child doing? Oh, my child is into modeling and this and that. Oh, but they went to this school and they paid that, $3,000. And I'm like, well, you pay us $300 and you'll be seeing, and you can't believe it, because I feel like parents have been so scammed by so many people. They really don't know which way to go.
No.
And that's why Indie Kids is there.
Yeah.
They don't know which way to go.
Let me ask you that, is that one of the key components I always tell our team at KidsCasting is that it's more important for us to educate people than it ever has been, because they're in the industry of kids. There is a lot of scam out there. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, back in the 90s, I worked with John Robert Powers. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but you get there. You get there and they'll say, you look awesome, IMTA, and for $1,000 back then, you can get a portfolio. Let me ask you a question. Do you help and coach the parents to do the right thing, or do you just say, submit some pictures?
No, I actually help and coach them. I have been helping parents all over the world, like I said, for the last 8 years, and I found myself being more so an educator, and that's why my magazine is still alive to this day, is because I became more concerned with the parent and the child's well-being and what they wanted to do versus just, hey, we'll put you in the magazine.
Sure. Well, longevity. I mean, if you tell someone, my theory has always been, and I'm pretty sure I didn't invent this theory, but if you educate people along the way, when they finally get to the point where they need your advice on what they want to do with that dollar bill, who do you think they're going to come to?
Yeah,
you.
Absolutely.
Well, and more importantly is that we're in the business of a lifestyle. Moms and dads all the time say to me when I do live broadcast on KidsCasting on our Instagram, which is KidsCasting _official, I believe. on the lower thirds. You can see it. But when I talk to a lot of the parents, they always say, oh, they believe that it's a push button thing. Like, oh, if I do this, they're going to be a star. Or if I just submit these things, then you're going to find me the work. Well, number one, we're not an agent. We are a casting network, so we get relationships with folks like you. And
Sure.
we'll put stuff out there, and they can submit to those different things. It's like jobs.com. And in this day and age, you have to have your elevator pitch, or what you do, same thing, to where someone says, look, I'm interested in hiring your kid. Well, here's everything about my kid, and I want you to have that. You know, old school, we walk into into an agency or something with a portfolio. Nowadays, you go click here, take a look at this. Let me ask you, Kids Magazine is online, and is it actual print?
Yes, it is an actual print. Right now, we're using an online printing company, but they can get access to it. That's why I have it there. As long as they can receive what they paid for and see their kids into the magazine, that's what I care about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it also has a bit of credibility, because if you look at, by the way, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can check it out on Facebook, facebook.com//Indi Kids Mag. You'll see that on Facebook. You can see the publication, and it's awesome. I mean, this is not like you took an app and you went, I'm going to draw some emojis on it with your face and, whatever, and hearts. This is a pro magazine, giving them the credibility that when someone looks at it, they'll go, oh, wow, you were featured. Oh, this is awesome. So, I commend you on doing that and educating people. Anything else that you would want people to know about what you're doing with Indi Kids Magazine? What's the future look like?
Well, we're definitely getting ready to now do another fashion show in Las Vegas. Ooh. So what we're doing now is fairly new for Indi Kids, and that's taking them to the big stages.
Oh, nice.
That is my overall goal for Indi Kids, is to put these kids on stage, in the lights myself.
Right.
So that is my basic goal. If you were ever in Indi Kids starting from 2011 and you're still in the business, my goal is basically to put actors on the big screens, put singers on, with record labels, and put them on stage. We're going for the stage.
Sure.
That's where we're going. That's the end goal, is to have everyone all over the world to see these kids that are coming through the Indi Kids doors.
Well, nowadays with some of the top, one of the questions was asked to me recently about, do you believe that here in America that parents take their kids being in this business, show business, seriously? And I said, well, look at your top programs on TV. You've got, Anybody Can Dance. You've got America's Got Talent.
America Got Talent.
All these things are, back in my day, in the early 90s and so on, you had Star Search, you had whatever. But nowadays, it is it establishes people's careers, because if they're seen on these things, and if they're in a situation where they're on a stage, Las Vegas, great place. I did Cirque du Soleil there for 4 years, and it is the place to go when you want to spotlight people. The other thing is that I like about what you're talking about is that a lot of kids can get in front of a camera, but can they get in front of an audience?
That's right.
And, the key of being able to do that, people always say to me, they go, well, my kids have never had any training. What do you recommend they do? We don't have a lot of money. And I'm like, theater. I mean, community theater is free. Modeling, some of the stuff you're doing. I do see some of the showcases sometimes that are like $3,000 or $4,000. And I'm like, yeah, back up on that. Because, what you want to do is get the experience, not try to get it in one fell swoop. Just keep doing stuff, because the more comfortable your kids are in public, the better off they're going to be in front of a camera and in front of a crew spending millions of dollars. So there that is.
Absolutely. That's what I tell them all the time. Get them in front of the camera. The more that they become comfortable, in front of the camera. And that's what you basically want to do. I've had a lot of parents, too, that says, oh, my goodness, Miss Houston, they've never done anything before. And I tell them, I said, well, you're starting in the right place.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Because when you're publishing your kids, no one wants to be the first one. Right. And when they see that someone has already took a chance on your child, then they'll be more willing to do something for them,
Sure.
being that, again, they don't want to be the first
Right,
one.
right.
Once they do that, I tell them, once you put your child into the magazine, you will see what I call my dominoes effect. Once someone has seen that your child has gotten involved with the company, and then before you know it, other people are going to want to get involved too as well. But that child has to be coming up in the entertainment industry. I say all the time that kids, these days, one minute they want to be modeling, the next minute they want to be a veterinarian. So you have to be very careful with kids. And that's what I tell the parents. I say this industry is very expensive. Do not let anyone tell you that it's not, because you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's one of the big questions I get a lot is people say, well, why should I have to pay for this or that? My kid's very talented. Yeah, well, let me just help you out with that there are 1.5 million kids, and I know this as a professional actor, that are taller, skinnier, look better than me, that maybe even act better than me, probably not. But anyway, the point is that, there are a lot of things, but really the opportunity and getting in front of people is really what you're trying to buy into. And when you do buy into that, you better be ready. The kids better look good and know how to handle themselves, because not only will they not work again, they'll never work again if they get in front of the camera and they have bad manners and they're not good to be directed. One thing I want to close with is that the industry back 10, 15 years ago, I remember, was a lot of beauty pageant and all of that, like your 6-year-old looked like she's 26. And I tell people nowadays, and you know what, I think you've confirmed it by the cover of the magazine that I've seen, which is a girl doing gymnastics. And you didn't just do beauty queen stuff, is that special skills are huge. I mean, if you have these skills, commercial world is made up of people saying, right now at the bottom of most people's resumes, actors, is special skills. I believe, as a commercial actor as well, that if you put that at the top almost, I'm not saying change your resume if you have one, but when they make a casting call, they'll say, can you quad skate? Can you ride a unicycle? Do you have a dog? Do you have a whatever? I would say that putting the gymnastics is more important than putting your kid in a sequin top and looking 26. That's just not in anymore. They want real kids, don't they?
That's right. They want real kids. As far as these agencies and everything go, when they take a picture, they want to see the child for who the child is.
Yeah.
They don't want all this makeup and everything on them. That's why when we do their comp cards, I take pictures of them to represent the magazine, and I take pictures to make sure that they actually get taken seriously with their comp cards and things like that, because it's basically two different worlds. But they definitely do not want all this makeup and bold colors. No, they want to see your child exactly who he or she is.
Yeah, no one buys cheesy and insincere anymore. I always say the joke, I'm like, I remember back in the early 80s, I have pictures of me going, and I'm like, well, that's awesome if I'm selling you a car.
Right.
But, it doesn't work now. And so I always urge parents, as you are doing, to let us see the real kid and find out what the real thing about your kid is. It the hair? Is it the smile? Is it just odd? Are they just interesting?
Right.
And then,
I've been doing this for so long.
Capitalize on that.
I can basically look at a picture and tell. A lot of the submissions that we do get in, unfortunately, I'm not a dream crusher, so we don't respond. We do respond if we feel like your child is, has what it takes. Of course. So that's one of the things with us too as well.
Absolutely. Hey, Shadawn Houston. I love your name, by the way, Shadawn Houston.
Thank you.
Just so you know, folks, if you want to check it out, you can go to facebook.com/Indi Kids Mag, M-A-G, Indi Kids Mag. On Instagram, look on the bottom, of course, it's Indi Kids Magazine. Check that out. And I really appreciate you coming on the show. I know we're going to have you on again. I really love what you're doing. Last thing, what the best 4-letter word in the English language is free. Is there any free advice you have for moms and dads sitting out there right now going, love this interview, you guys are awesome, and they're doing this right now? Anything you can tell them?
Make sure that you're very serious and your child is serious before getting into this industry. that's my main thing, is to make sure that you're serious about it. Because if not, it is definitely going to be a waste of time for not only the person, but the people who become interested in the child. A lot of time and energy goes into seeking talent. So you just want to make sure that this is definitely something that your child wants to do.
Absolutely. I love that advice, and I would say to you that that would be the first thing on my list to tell anybody, because it is not an easy job. I've been doing it for 38 years. I love what I do, and I'm very committed to it. You've been doing this for 100 years as well. And the fact is that take knowledge like we have, utilize that knowledge, become a sponge, mom and dads and kids, because this industry is very difficult, and it's not always about how talented you are. It's about knowing the right place and the right time to be, and the only way you know that is by listening and putting your ear to the ground and taking this information and utilizing it. So thank you very much, young lady.
You're
Folks,
very welcome.
Appreciate you checking out the show. Hey, for the last 10 to 9 minutes there, we're going to let you see one of the segments that we have done on some subjects that we love to talk about. Remember KidsCasting.com, and then on the bottom you can see Parent Academy. Soon, I'm not going to say much, but soon you'll be able to see some particular site that focuses on just the educational parts. So we'll see you next time. Be safe, be swell, but most of all, be successful. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.